Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to attend the Safe on 7 online public workshop to improve Route 7 or Troy-Schenectady Road in the town of Niskayuna. My name is Sandy Misowitz, and I am the Executive Director of the Capital Region Transportation Council, the metropolitan planning organization for the Capital Region. The Transportation Council is led by a policy board of elected and appointed officials responsible for transportation planning and the allocation of federal transportation funds to plans, programs, and projects in the four counties of Albany, Rensselaer, Saratoga, and Schenectady. The Route 7 study is being conducted in partnership with the town of Niskayuna and has been funded through our Community and Transportation Linkage Planning Program, a program that supports strategic community planning studies that seek to improve the transportation system. We understand how important the Route 7 corridor is to the community and to the region. We take safety very seriously and believe our team will be able to identify short and long-term planning concepts that will not only make the roadway safer for all users, but will also make the corridor more walkable by improving pedestrian and bicycle access. To do this, we need to hear from you. We need to know what your experience has been using the corridor, what issues you would like to see addressed, and what ideas you have as to what should be changed or improved.
Welcome to the Safe on 7 virtual workshop. My name is Erin Cassidy-Dorian, and I am the town supervisor for Niskayuna. Today, I wanted to talk about a crucial initiative for the future of our town, a comprehensive planning and complete streets study for Route 7. This isn't just about our roads, it's about the safety and well-being of the people in our community. And the town is committed to helping this planning study in any way that we can. Route 7 is a vital corridor to our town, but tragically, it has become increasingly dangerous. As many of you know, we've experienced 3 heartbreaking fatalities on the corridor in the last year alone. This has deeply impacted our community, and the urgency for action is clear, as evidenced by over 1,250 residents signing a letter to Governor Hochul requesting safety on Route 7. This linkage study will develop community-based plans for complete streets on Route 7, ensuring safety and accessibility for our drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists alike, while respecting our neighborhood's residential character. With approximately 26,000 vehicles using Route 7 daily, the safety challenges are significant. This study will use outreach and input from our residents, along with robust local and regional transportation data to pinpoint problem areas and develop targeted solutions. By creating a strong community-backed plan, we will be in a much better position to advocate for the resources we need to make Route 7 safer for everyone in Niskayuna. We encourage all of our residents to visit the website, participate in the survey, and sign up to receive more information. Together, we can create a safer and more accessible Route 7. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Safe on 7 Complete Streets Plan workshop. The format of this is join at your own pace, so feel free to pause the video at any time. The purpose of this workshop is to review existing conditions for the plan and share our survey where you could provide feedback. Both the existing conditions and your feedback will help inform our concept developments. The purpose of this study is to develop recommendations that enhance safety, mobility, and resiliency for all users by improving pedestrian and bicycle access, eliminating fatal and serious injury crashes, and fostering a more walkable, bikeable, and connected corridor along Route 7 in the town of Niskayuna. The 3 primary objectives of this plan include assessing safety concerns, identifying connectivity improvements, and engaging with residents and stakeholders. In the Capital Region, Route 7 functions as a critical east-west link. It runs through Rotterdam, Schenectady, and Niskayuna before intersecting with I-87 in Latham. It's vital for regional mobility and economic activity. The plan's primary study area spans 3.5 miles on Route 7 from St. David's Lane to the Niskayuna Colony town border, with a quarter-mile buffer to assess any broader impacts. Based on the safety goal of the of the study, we analyzed crash data using New York State Department of Transportation database, which is a statewide safety data repository. Over the 3-year analysis period, there were 296 crashes, where 23% resulted in injury and 3% resulted in a fatality, which is 12 times higher than the state average crash rate for similar highways, indicating the urgent need for safety improvements. The most common collision types included rear end and head on, while the top contributing factors were following too closely, driver inattention, failure to keep right, and failure to yield the right of way. The map in front of you shows where crashes have occurred most often. There is a high number of crashes at intersections with traffic signals, specifically at Leishakill Road and Rosendale Road, shown by the darker red color, as well as a hotspot at Bellevue Women's Care Center, which is unsignalized. We broke this out further by looking at crashes resulting in an injury or fatality. The most common contributing factors were following too closely, failure to yield right of way, driver inattention, and unsafe speed. It is noted that although not included in the data analysis period for this analysis, another fatal crash occurred on Route 7 on February 25th, 2025, near Bellevue Women's Care Center when a pedestrian was fatally struck by a vehicle, highlighting the urgency of this study. Cyclists and pedestrians are vulnerable road users compared to car drivers and are at a higher risk for injury or fatality in a crash. We narrowed the data to looking at bike and pedestrian crashes only. In the 3-year analysis period, there were 7 bike and pedestrian related crashes. At least 6 of them resulted in an injury, with the 7th being unknown and involving bicycle damage. 2 of these crashes also resulted in fatalities. Based on the crash data, we decided to look at roadway design. In the study area, Route 7 provides 2 12-foot travel lanes in each direction with a 13-foot wide, 2-way left turn lane. The roadway is curved and does not provide shoulders or edgeline markings. Transportation network balances mobility through movement and local access. Different roads serve these functions to varying degrees. Arterials offer the highest mobility but have limited access to adjacent properties. On this map, you can see how Route 7 shifts from an expressway to an arterial. However, this change in function is not always perceived by drivers, resulting in continued high speeds. Based off the roadway design observations, we decided to look at speed. The posted speed limit on Route 7 is generally 45 miles per hour, with the exception of an approximately half-mile segment near Bellevue Women's Care Center from Primrose Lane to Mohegan Road, which is posted at 40 miles per hour. Roadway design can affect how fast drivers travel in the wider and more open segments of the corridor. Drivers often travel faster than the posted limits due to the lack of traffic calming infrastructure. Volume, like speed, can also relate to safety concerns within the corridor. Our team looked at how the volumes change along Route 7 as it changes context and municipalities. Compared to the rest of Route 7, Niskayuna falls in the middle of the range of volumes. Route 7 was also compared to other 5-lane roads in the region. While the volumes are comparable on these road segments, the land use and context are very different. Further consideration will be needed to understand if 5 lanes are needed for the current capacity. Traffic volumes can also vary throughout the day. ADT, or average daily traffic, data for this analysis was collected from September 2023 to July 2024 and is shown in the chart in front of you. while eastbound peaks in the AM, westbound peaks in the PM. This ATR data was provided by the town and taken at roughly the middle of the corridor. Historically, volumes have also differed based on how the roadway looked at the time. Volumes increased from around 20,000 in 1977 to around 35,000 in the early 2000s, with a gradual decline to around 25,000 by 2025. Prior to the 1990 reconstruction, the roadway was 2 lanes in each direction with a narrow curved median. While traffic volumes have decreased since the mid 2000s, crashes have increased. To evaluate capacity constraints and potential trade-offs, we looked at vehicle level of service throughout the corridor. Vehicle level of service is a letter grade ranging from A to F, where LOS-A reflects minimal vehicle delay and LOS-F indicates longer vehicle delays and potential congestion. This map shows the vehicle level of service for each intersection approach. Most intersections operate at an LOS-C or better, with vehicle delays primarily at unsignalized side streets and major turns. LOSE was observed at Leisha Kill and Vly roads during the AM peak. These vehicle delays may lead to risky turning decisions. For the midday peak, all the intersections are operating at level C or better, with level E at Mohawk Road and Rosendale Road on the eastern end of the corridor. Similar to AM and midday, most intersections in the evening peak operate at a C or better. Algonquin and Hickory Road near Bellevue Women's Care Center and Rosendale Road on the eastern end all have approaches from the north operating at a D, and Mohawk and Winnie Roads have approaches from the north operating at an E. To understand who's traveling through the corridor, travel patterns on Route 7 were assessed using Replica, an online travel modeling tool that provides estimated trip activity characteristics. Of the total trips, 96% were taken by car and an additional 2% by trucks. Walking and biking account for a small portion of trips at only 1%. It's also assumed that Route 7 only makes up a small portion of total trips, with the average trip taking 28 minutes and the study area only taking about 5 minutes end to end. The majority of trips on Route 7 are most likely made by commuters, indicated by the high number of home and work trips. In the study area, Route 7 is a designated access highway, which permits use by extra large trucks, including tandem trailers. Trucks make up 3% of the total traffic, indicating that improvement concepts will need to accommodate large trucks. We also looked at pedestrian infrastructure. This picture was taken at St. David's Lane and shows the cracked and overgrown nature of the sidewalk that can be seen in various spots throughout the corridor. While there are sidewalks on both sides of the street, their condition remains inconsistent. There are also long distances between marked crosswalks across Route 7 because they're only at the intersections with signals. The longest of those is 1.5 miles between St. David's Lane and Pierce Road. We also evaluated bicycle facilities in the corridor using the level of traffic stress, or LTS model, which classifies roadway segments into 4 levels of stress cyclists are expected to experience based upon roadway and bicycle facility design characteristics. A review of these characteristics on Route 7, including a lack of bike lanes and shoulders, indicates that cyclists riding on Route 7 experience an LTS 4, which corresponds with a high stress environment and contributes to the low bicycle usage. Because of higher bicycle stress, many cyclists choose off-road trails for getting around. While Route 7 is generally disconnected from the nearby trail system, the town has achieved the Flower Hill Trail, providing a connected off-road trail in the corridor. It's important to note, though, that there is currently no direct east-west option for commuters. The existing network poses a potential opportunity for future active transportation links. Transit was also evaluated in the corridor. CDTA Route 370 serves Route 7 every 30 minutes at peak on weekdays and 45 minutes at peak on weekends. While stop coverage is sufficient for the area, all stops lack shelters and have inconsistent lighting throughout the corridor. Most riders are through riders, indicating by the less than 3 riders per day per stop, with the exception of Vly Road, which sees an average of 10 riders per day. Zoning in the corridor is predominantly residential, with low density residential as the primary zoning type. It transitions to medium density residential near Shannon Boulevard and further east. It also includes some higher density housing, such as apartments and senior living communities. Homes are also typically set back from the roadway with access via side streets. Route 7 includes several schools, churches, and medical offices. These institutional uses generate varied traffic patterns throughout the day. There is higher pedestrian activity near schools and healthcare facilities. This highlights the need for marked crosswalks, pedestrian signals, and traffic calming measures with a goal to improve safety and access for all users. While most parcels along Route 7 are private residential, publicly owned parcels along the corridor present opportunities for implementing safety improvements and enhancing pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure. To conclude this presentation, we've summarized the key points from the existing conditions data. As it relates to the safety objective, high speeds, crashes, and vulnerable users have all been observed in the corridor. There are also opportunities to address the connectivity objective with low bike and ped users currently and the potential for future design concepts to address connectivity improvements. Thank you for listening to the Safe on 7 workshop. Our next step is to hear your feedback. We want to know what's most important to you for the Route 7 corridor, what changes or improvements you'd like to see, and any transportation problems or concerns in the study area. A link to the survey is included on the slide in front of you. We encourage you to fill it out and make your voice heard. Thank you.